up guys, my name is Carl and welcome to Tech Hunter. So today we're in a little bit of a different location, as this is my kind of main editing, gaming and kind of living setup. I've got my bed there where you won't be able to see it, and most of the mess is kind of hidden on the other side of the camera, and behind me is pretty much where I spend many hours, whether I'm gaming, whether I'm editing videos, or whether I'm just sitting there on the internet watching TV over there, or even lying on the bed watching some Netflix as well. So I'm going to run you guys through kind of what we've got over here at the moment, as my kind of main plan is to kind of change this setup up a little bit. Nothing too drastic, just mainly the desk area. It's getting a little bit cramped over there, so I'm going to try and compact it a little bit and kind of give myself a bit more kind of free space. So if I want to do some writing or anything like that, it kind of gives me that space to move stuff over, and then I can get a pad out and just write some notes down. But the kind of main reason I'm doing this initial video is so that you guys know what I've actually got going on behind me. What do I use to edit on? What is my current gaming PC specs? As this one looks different to the one you guys probably remember. There's a few other things. Obviously I've got some new peripherals. I've got a few other things which I've not really done videos on, but they're just things that I've kind of bought and then I use personally for either gaming or editing videos. And as a result of that, I don't like to do videos on them, because at the same time, if I'm making a video on my, say, new gaming mouse, I don't have a mouse to then edit that video with or do anything with, unless I get everything done and I want to do about it all in that kind of small period of time before I want to, I don't know, go on my computer again and play a game. So a lot of my kind of personal stuff kind of gets neglected and I kind of push it to one side. But today we're just going to do a big kind of roundup, so you can see my PC, my TV, my gaming monitor, all that kind of stuff, and my cable management skills and things like that, and different things that have kind of all kind of culminated to making this setup behind me. So I'm going to walk you guys through each thing, kind of starting over by the TV area, and then I'll kind of bring you along to the left hand side, my left hand side, if you're looking at it, your right hand side, whatever, that side, so that you guys can kind of get an idea of what everything is doing on this desk and what is its purpose and what I maybe want to change in the future. So let's flip the camera around and you can come with me and have a look at what we're working with. Right then, so let's kind of first adjust the main elephant in the room. The TV behind me is a Philips 55-inch OLED 4K TV with the kind of cool ambilight feature. So it's got the integrated LEDs in the back, so you kind of get that kind of glow, as you can see when it changes from, say, green to blue. We get that nice kind of glow around the back of it. It kind of adds a little bit more immersion. It's a little bit of a neat feature. I used to have just kind of LED strips on the back of my old TV, but this just makes it that much more immersive. You get the colours, you get the greens and the blues just pop a lot more. And it's a little bit better than just kind of setting some kind of fixed colour with some LED strip. But yeah, this TV is actually such a good picture. The UI, the kind of Philips UI, is absolute trash and the remote is awful, but the picture looks incredible. It looks so good that you can kind of forgive the slow UI, so you just generally use the Fire Stick anyway, so you don't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff and you just avoid all the annoyances. For sound though, we have a Bose Solo soundbar. I've had this for about 4 or 5 years now. I've not really had any reason to upgrade because of my kind of living arrangements. I live with my parents, this is my bedroom, so anything much bigger than that is a bit overkill. So it does a good job at kind of adding a lot more kind of clarity and depth to sound and voices, which is generally is most of the stuff I watch. So it does everything I need it to do. There's no subwoofer anywhere, so it doesn't add a ton of bass, but it's enough to make a film a lot more enjoyable and just watching the TV a lot more enjoyable, really. As you can see, next to that is my kind of fairly old now, I think it's on the 6th gen Intel i5. I don't really know what it is, a HP touchscreen 2-in-1 laptop type thing. And behind that is my collection of Nintendo Switch games, as you can see, which is right here behind me. I'm a big fan of the main kind of Nintendo games. I don't really play anything else that isn't kind of a Nintendo IP, really. That's the whole point of the Switch. You play that so you can play the Nintendo games. Any other kind of games you want to play over there. So we'll move on to that in a second. Speaking of the Switch, we also have this little kind of adapter box down here, and this is so you can plug in your GameCube controllers. It's not something I've seen many people use, but I'm still a big fan of the OG kind of wireless Nintendo controller. It's a little bit dirty. I've had it for, I don't know, over 15 years or whatever, whenever the GameCube kind of first come out. And yeah, it does the job. I prefer that a lot more using the GameCube controller, especially for Smash Bros. That's what made me kind of buy that in the first place. I just couldn't get on with the Nintendo Switch controllers, so GameCube OG controller, definitely what I needed for Smash Bros. We've got the Google Home there. We're not going to say any kind of commands because it's just going to ruin it for everybody, including myself. And then next to that we have one of my Behringer MS40 kind of bookshelf speakers, the other one being on the other side of the monitor. And these are awesome speakers. They are really, really good sounding quality, so rich. They got a lot of bass to them as well if you turn the dials up. But really, I just kind of use them for watching YouTube videos, so they don't really get used for much more than that. And occasionally I have them on for gaming if no one else is around, and if I'm not wearing a headset so I don't annoy everybody. So speaking of gaming and gaming peripherals, kind of. So the Stream Deck I picked up on Amazon Prime Day because it was on an absolutely killer deal. And it is useful, especially mainly for video editing when I'm trying to use it to open up files quickly, open up programs quickly. I'm just going to switch between things a little bit quicker than, say, minimizing, double clicking. It's not really a massive time saver, but it all kind of adds up. And I think it looks quite cool as well. Adds a little bit more kind of screens to the system, I guess. My keyboard is the Razer Ornata Chroma. This is a mechanical keyboard. It's nothing kind of major, nothing special really. I think it cost about £100 when it first came out, but it's got a really nice wrist rest, which I really am starting to wear away now, especially on the left hand side when WAS and D keys are. But it's got some good kind of clicky feeling switches. I kind of like the way they feel. They're only kind of half height switches, which I'm a big fan of, and I just feel that they're a lot more comfortable to type on than, say, full height switches, which for me, I do quite a bit of typing here, so it makes sense. So moving over to this side, we have the Xbox One controller. Nothing really special about this. I've got 3 of these, so yeah, they're all black. This one's got some little white D-brand trim on it. I tried to skin the whole thing, it was really hard, so it's just got a little bit on it on the flat bits. And then we've got my recent purchase, which was the Logitech G502 mouse. This is an awesome mouse, really enjoyed it so far. I really like the scroll wheel, so satisfying. I wish I'd found those sooner. I've been stuck with the Razer Death Adder because nothing had really gone wrong with it, so I didn't feel the need to replace it. But the Logitech has done an awesome job ever since that one kind of failed. Headset. This got sent to me for review by Plantronics. This is the Rig 800 HD. I did a video on this bad boy, and I've used it ever since. It's absolutely awesome. It's really comfortable. It's super lightweight. It doesn't get sweaty thanks to those cloth ear cups, and it's just really good, to be honest. It's got a decent mic quality. Never had any issues with Discord, people complaining. So yeah, overall fairly happy with that so far. Now, the big boy, the Acer Predator X34P monitor. I did a video on this over a year ago now. Still rocking it, still loving it. I did get that monitor in from LG very recently, the 34GK950F. If I was going to replace this, it would probably be for something like that, but only if they're going to send me one for free to actually let me keep. Otherwise, I'm not spending any more money after I spent nearly £1,000 on this monitor. But it's lasted me long, it's done the job, so I'm fairly happy with it. Before we move on to the main PC itself, we're going to quickly go over the kind of furniture we're rocking. These are just some Ikea drawers down at the bottom. I think they're Malm. They're just for clothes more than anything. But the desk is, I believe, Linmon. The very cheap £20 kind of tabletops you get from Ikea. Sat on top of, I believe, 1, 2, and then a spare one at the end. 3 Alex drawers, which you'll see on tons of videos across YouTube. Linmon/Alex combination is massively popular, and I'm not the first and I will not be the last person to do this. Behind that we've got some kind of cheap LED strips which I bought for about like £10 or so on Amazon. I think they're Tingcam, whatever they are. And I've also got these kind of little receivers which I'll put in the description down below, and obviously I'll show on the screen so you know what I'm talking about. But they cost about £7 or £8, and they can turn any kind of 4-pin RGB strip into a RGB strip you can control with your phone. and through Google, which is a really big thing because I've got two of these. I've got one. This is a nice angle. I've got one on the underside of the desk, as well as all the cables and stuff, all the cable ties you can see. And I've also got one on the rear of the desk. So yeah, those little receivers make a massive difference because then I can control the light without touching it. I don't have to use an RF infrared remote, pointing it somewhere. Everything can just be kind of hidden away and you don't really see it. But kind of now we're on the floor, we might as well have a look under the desk. As you can see, there's a big combination of sticky pads and cable ties. A few of these are getting quite dangerous. These ones here. So if you've ever cut off a cable tie, you know how quite sharp they can get. And as a result of that, I'm starting to get a lot of kind of scratches on my knees where I am leaning into them a bit too far under the desk. So I need to address that very soon before, I don't know, I start losing some actual blood from these scratches. But that's something I would like to address in my next video. Also next to it, I also picked up this Meko Eleverd USB hub thing. It sits there really nicely, easy to access. It gives me 10 USB 3.0 points which I can plug stuff into, like SD cards and chargers for the headset and phone chargers and whatnot. So in that kind of area, I'm fairly stocked. Oh yeah, speaking of phone chargers, there is a Qi charger which I've integrated into the desk. It does come out, but it's fairly slow. It's not a quick charger by any means, so it rarely gets used if I'm honest. So also under the desk we have this little footrest which I got from Amazon, and this little D-line just kind of cable box thing which I've got a extension lead sat inside of, and just it's a good place to hide some cables. And I've also got a really ugly HDMI cable sat on top of them at the moment, which needs to kind of get hidden away very soon. Oh, and I've also got this kind of little cloth thing which you might be able to make out on the camera, and that's kind of what I've wrapped some cables in which run, say, from the PC to the TV, mainly that ugly HDMI cable which runs all the way through there and into the TV. Oh, and also I believe there's an Ethernet cable that runs all the way through there as well. So there's that. And then finally, this is my rather noisy current gaming PC. So the PC itself was an i7 6700K. I've now bought an i7 8700K. It came with 32 gigs of RAM, a 1200 watt platinum power supply, this case, and I think it was about £500, which is a really good deal. I've used that RAM elsewhere. I've still got my Trident Z in there. I bought some new cables from Cable Mods. I've added a Black Ice little kind of car freshener in there because the case smelled bad. It was a used PC, it was a used case, and I've given it a kind of whole new life. I picked up a Kraken X72, the 360mm version. That is in the front, and we've got my RTX 2080 in there, as well as a 1TB ADATA NVMe SSD, and two 500GB SSDs, and two 2TB hard drives, and a 2TB external SSD, which is kind of tucked around the back at the moment, which is storing all of my games on it, so that I can use it on this PC and my PCs down in the kind of studio area. Overall, I'd say that pretty much covers everything. Got my parrot here, like to keep me company now and then, and I think that's pretty much everything worth talking about on my desk. In the description down below, I'll leave links to absolutely everything I can think of. So whether it's the little kind of GameCube adapter or the soundbar, or even the TV and things like that, which you might not think of as kind of things you want to look and go and buy on Amazon, but you might just want to have a look at so you can check the specs and stuff. Oh, I also forgot, I got a little lamp here, which was about £20 on Amazon. It changes colours, it's blue at the moment. But my main kind of reason for all of this is because this is all going to be changed, and I want to show you guys it before and I want to show you it afterwards. The main reason is this monitor. I'm fed up of this monitor stand, literally taking up over 50% of my desk. So I've picked up a monitor arm, so we're going to clamp it to the desk, we're going to push it as far back as we can. The speakers as well, whilst they sound great, are on the large side, and the lamp as well. We're going to try and move things around and try and make things a little bit more, I don't know, in the center, very compact, but at the sides, either side, we're going to have a lot more space so that I can do some work on there. Possibly my girlfriend as well, she's doing a lot of kind of revising lately, and she wants more space to work with, so need to keep the ladies happy, so we need to make space, hence the monitor arm, and probably a sound bar as well underneath the monitor to try and keep everything all together and out of the way. Right then guys, that is pretty much it. That is pretty much all I have to offer for my setup. It's not that extravagant, I don't think so anyway. It's nothing too amazing. I've seen a lot better setups on YouTube and Instagram, so I think it's fairly low-key for now. It is, at the end of the day, it is a bedroom. There's shelves with like toiletries and pictures and stuff like that, all just kind of littered everywhere. It's not really a true gaming setup, it's more of a bedroom with a lot of kind of space dedicated to a TV and PC. Well, I say a lot, it's literally less than 1 meter of this room and about 3 meters across dedicated to PC and TV stuff. Anyway guys, I hope this has been interesting for you at least. It's been kind of cool for me to make it. It's been quite nice trying to get everything tidy, just ready for this video. And it's also been quite interesting just to see how much stuff there actually is worth talking about. I think is something I don't really do very often, which is talk about my own stuff. So I guess it makes a change. But if you like this kind of video guys, please do click that like button. If you didn't, click that dislike button. Hopefully my face hasn't offended you in this video. There's been a lot of face action, we're quite close, we're quite up in your face here. So hopefully it's not been too much of a big deal and you've kind of enjoyed getting to see what my gaming setup is all about. So yeah, there's a lot going on and I hope you guys are ready for kind of the next chapter. We've just hit 7,000 subscribers, so big thank you for that. And yeah, I'm kind of rambling on now. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.